We will hopefully hear momentarily from the Department of Mineral Resources. We're seeing the spokesperson for Sibanye-Stillwater, James Wellstead. He's just gone back into the briefing room. And essentially what we're after is answers. Questions are being asked. If it is the responsibility of the Department of Mineral Resources to ensure that this does not happen, what is the minister doing here 42 hours after this crisis started, 9 hours after it ended? That's certainly the question that we will be asking. We've got the National Union of Mine Workers national spokesperson, Leburani Mamburu.
That we utilize the venue that's been provided.
All right, there seems to be a bit of a standoff here between the people that are due to address the media and the journalists themselves. Journalists here are refusing to go back into the holding room in which we were meant to wait for 3 hours. The Minister of Mineral Resources, Mosebenzi Zwane, is saying that he won't come and address us here just outside on the steps of the venue here, saying that it's too hot. One can only imagine how hot it was underground. 955 miners that were trapped for some 32 hours with minimal air. We were told that they were brought to holding rooms where there was sufficient air, and also supplies were brought down. But you can only imagine being in the pitch dark 2 kilometers underground. And we would like some answers. Certainly the people of South Africa are looking for answers as well. So we wait with bated breath, Voyo. Hopefully the mining minister, Mosebenzi Zwane, comes out momentarily. We're also seeing further regional representatives of AMCU as well. That's good to hear. The minister has now acceded to the journalist request to come and address us just here. All right, I'm going to drop down.
Members of the media. How's it, Minister? Do you mind stepping over here for me, please, sir, so we can have a good clean shot from behind? That's why.
You can imagine how hot us white people are.
They like sun, these people.
Okay, we all clear. Guys, are we all ready to roll? Okay, sound check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Minister, comment on the meeting to start with?
Yes, okay.
All right. I think we had a very good meeting with unions, management, and the department in resolving whatever issues that were there. We want to thank every stakeholder, the management, the unions, and the department. We're happy with the process of the meeting.
When you say that you're happy with the process of the meeting, what exactly has been found out from this meeting? What was the cause of the generators not kicking in to ensure that the 955 miners were brought to the surface? And if I may ask, Minister, as a direct question, why were you not on the ground when this crisis started? You've arrived 9 hours after it's come to an end, 42 hours after it started.
Well, you have asked me 3 questions now. Let me answer. What has not been told in the media is that there was a storm in the Free State, Botshabelo, TNS, and here, which ripped 2 ESCOM power generating equipment, which also then had a negative impact in the mine. On the issue of the generators, my team is here. We want to have facts. There is an audit. The mine is closed. For now, we want to see the safety and all those issues. We do not want to speculate in terms of what happened. But what we got as a explanation is that the system was also affected by the surge. And we are doing our own investigations around that.
Why were you not on the ground when this crisis started, Mining Minister?
I was pretty much on the ground because my team, the DMR, has been working tirelessly with the mine and the unions. They have been here, and yesterday late I then said, now let me join you and ensure that I build capacity. That is the norm. I mean, they work here all the time when I'm not here.
With all due respect, Minister, we were on the ground since 7 p.m. yesterday, and we did not see any officials of the Department of Mineral Resources. We only saw members of the unions of miners that are represented by them on the ground here, as well as members of personnel and management at Sibanye Stillwater.
Well, with due respect, the mine and everybody agrees that my team was here. Maybe I should give you their names so that there is no confusion about that.
Hopefully they'll engage with the media next time.
Yes.
Minister, there seems to be an issue that's emerged. Are you going to be closing this mine until you've certified its emergency procedures? What's the union position? I guess we can ask them. But from a DMR point of view, is this mine going to start working without certification?
Now we have agreed with everybody in the meeting that we are going to follow due processes to ensure the safety of everybody and allow the mine to operate once we follow those due processes. And the management is happy, we are happy about that.
Timelines, Minister, when do you expect the mine to start operations?
My inspectors are already here.
In terms of, no, I mean in terms of the mine starting operations.
When I don't want to speculate. It may take a day or two or four. Everybody is going to be part of this process. Organized labor, the management themselves, and we want to clear the myth so that when we are happy, then the process can kickstart. For now, the mine is closed.
Until the DMR and its inspectorate give a clearance certificate.
We follow two processes and we will agree.
Minister, have you met with the miners that were trapped underground, or are you planning to?
Well, everybody has been evacuated as we speak. The mines are getting some counseling, others are being attended to, and we want to allow that process to happen so that people are back to their normality. Then we'll be able then to interact at that stage.
Minister, when I spoke to one of the union, that is NUM, they complain of negligence from the mine management, and they are also saying there's no contingency plan. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm not representing any union here. I have said my inspectors are here. I want to speak on facts. If there is any negligence, I will put that report public, so that we don't speculate currently, and that's not what I want to do as a responsible leader.
Just to clarify, part of your investigation will be why generators did not kick in and why there was perhaps not an alternative escape route for the miners that were trapped underground. Is that correct? Will that form part of your investigation?
No, that is not correct. There was an alternative escape route. A decision was taken that the safest will be the one they followed, but we will investigate the issues of negligence, generator, and any other matter that we may deem it fit to investigate, including the infrastructure. But we are going to follow due processes, and I can't speculate now.
All right.
All good, everyone?
So just to recap, Minister, there's no timeline for this investigation, and the mine remains closed until your investigation is concluded.
We don't want to close these mines perpetually. We have not activated Section 54 because we also want to be mindful of the fact that there was a storm here. Until we have facts, we can't say there's Section 54 or this, because we want to work with everybody in a responsible way.
We good? Clear?
Perhaps could we hear from you, Mr. Matunja, as President of eNCA. Perhaps we can hear from you and find out whether or not you're satisfied with all efforts that have been made by government as well as mine management to ensure the safety of your members.
Thank you once more. I think what the Minister has just...
So you were saying, Mr. Matunja?
Yes, we had a meeting with all the stakeholders, including all labor representatives, including management and the DMR. And we came to conclusion, as particular as us as AMCO, we put demand that there mustn't be any worker who reports for duty on Monday. Their families are traumatized as much as the breadwinners are traumatized. Therefore, they need to be given ample time for counseling, for trauma counseling. That is first. Secondly, we requested or demanded this audit that the minister is talking about, that they must do a full-scale audit in these mines. We demand new generators. If Sibanye can go and purchase mine in US, surely they can purchase new generators in order to save lives. We want to check whether Sibanye is complying with all the regulations, because the regulations is quite clear that the company must have emergency power supply for ventilation purposes. And also we want to draw your attention on the history of this mine. It's a high maintained concentrated mine, Beatrix mine. And I believe that 2000, there was an explosion that killed 7 workers, and subsequent year, which was 2001, 13 mine workers were killed by this mine through explosion. And what was the cause of the explosion is because of the build-up of the methane and as a result of the power cut that happened in this mine. So therefore we thank God that this mine is not a deep mine, it's a shallow mine. If it was a deep mine, I'm telling you, today we'll be talking a different story. They can disagree with me, the management, but the facts are there.
Do you think management is going to take adequate steps to address these problems? Do you think that they are going to act in good faith going forward?
The fact of the matter, no member of eNCA, I believe with NUM, no member should report for any duty if we haven't satisfied ourselves that this mine is in compliance with regulations.
Tell me, have you, Mr. Matunjwa, thought that the DMR has done enough? Are they a bit complicit in what's happened here?
No, I think the DMR has issued section 54, of which the management is not happy about it, which we as a Labour, we support that section 54.
Do you think that they did a proper audit here? Do you think everything was done by the book, by the DMR inspectors?
The inspectorate were visiting this mine regularly, but I mean, if there is a human error, there is a human error. That's why we are saying there must be a full-scale audit in this mine to prevent any future occurrences like this one.
Mr. Matunja, there's also a talk from the workers demanding a 3,000 compensation. Do you know anything about that?
Indeed, we put forward that we need 3,000 for each family of the member that was trapped underground to take their kids, their wives for trauma counseling. Indeed, we did put that demand.
What did the management say?
They will consider it. They will engage with the Labour to deal with that demands that we put forward.
Okay.
Would it be possible to hear from the National Union of Mine Workers? We've got Ribawani Mambura, the national spokesperson of NUM here.
Thanks.
I believe you have the national office, correct?
Thank you very much.
We've got the regional chair.
We have the regional chairperson comment.
Stand by a second. There's going to be a walkthrough. Just hold on a second.
No, we have the regional chairperson. Danki Malifani is the NUM Free State regional chairperson.
Step up in a second.
So we will respond on behalf of the NUM.
Okay, thank you, Malifana. The regional chairperson for the National Union of Mine Workers is up next. Mr. Malifana, do you wish to add to anything that Mr. Matundra said?
No, we would not add anything from what Matunjwa has raised. But our point is our members who have been on the media disclosing the truth of the situation underground and what they have been experiencing underground must not be harassed nor victimized. That is our position. The second point is that we are demanding from management of Beatrix and the Department of Mineral Resources to conduct a fully investigation to establish the root cause of what happened and come up with remedial measures to prevent the recurrence. Once we are satisfied that the root cause has been addressed as parties, it is then that our people will go underground. Before we are satisfied that our members will be safe to go underground. They will not go underground. The question of how long will that take, it will depend on the solution that will be arrived at, which is the prevention of the recurrence.
Is it possible for us to bring in the representative of Sibanye Stillwater?
I think finish with the unions and then we...
Are there any more questions for Mr. Malefane?
Because we are taking it live, Mr. Wellstead. Maybe we will take you now because it's live.
We're not going to engage in a debate here. I think finish with the unions and then we can chat.
Okay. Does anybody have any further questions for the National Union of Mine Workers?
No, I'm here with the
We're all clear? We're all clear? Okay. Mr. Malefane, thank you.
Mr. Wellstead?
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Just watch out for the cable as you step over.
Okay.
Careful. Just want to let the thing through. Okay. Looks like I've had a bath. It's all right. It took me about a minute. Now, can you read my lips? Okay. Mike's in. Everybody up? Yep. Hang on. We've got one camera there. Just stand by. Are you coming? Are you done? I'm ready. All right. I think, if you don't mind, James, just have a look at the eNCA camera so that your eye line is in one place.
Sure.
Are you guys all ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Just a second. Sorry, just bear with us. We're just having a logistical challenge. Yeah. Okay. We clear?
I'm all on my own here.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Let me help you with the mics.
I've got it now.
No, it says
angles.
Like, he sees you.
Okay, so not to waste any more of your time in the sun,
James.
as the representative of Sibanye Stillwater, do you think that an adequate agreement has been reached between mining management, government and the unions on site?
The intention of today was not to reach an agreement. As the Minister said, we've got to follow due process, which takes more than just one meeting in the room. So what we've agreed with the unions and the Minister is that we'll let due process take its course, and then decision will be made after that.
How happy are you that the mine is going to be closed until this due process is complete?
Well, we already closed the mine until Monday. We made that decision yesterday already. Firstly, to let the employees to recover a little bit from their experience, and secondly, because as Mr. Mutunjwa mentioned, this is a very gassy mine, and we need to clear, because the power's been down, we need to make sure that it's clear of gas. So it was going to be closed till Monday anyway. We would like it to resume production on Monday, and as the Minister said, there's no Section 54 at the moment. We're just going to inspect the inspectors are going to do an audit, and then a decision will be made.
At this stage, is Sibanye Stillwater still of the opinion that you fulfill all your responsibilities to ensure the well-being of your employees?
Of course, our employee safety is our first priority.
In terms of the workers being off work, are they going to be paid for this time off?
Yes.
The unions they have their demands, including the 3,000 rand compensation. What is your response to that?
So, if you listen to what the demand was, it was 3,000 for counselling for the families, and we're already providing for counselling for families and for the employees.
So there's no 3,000 rand that's going to be paid?
Well, I mean, we'll discuss that, but as I said, we're already providing it.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think it was constructive. I think, as you can see, there are differences of opinion between ourselves and the union, but I think the DMR approach was very pragmatic, and we look forward to working with other stakeholders and finding a solution to the issues.
We're clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Cool.
James Wellstead. Wellstead, W-E-L-L-S-T-E-D.
Hi, Voya, I'm not too sure if you're still live with us on picture here, but there we go. We heard from mining management, the Department of Mineral Resources, as well as the unions representing representing the majority of the 955 workers that were trapped underground. It remains to be seen. It's open to public opinion now whether or not this response is adequate enough, but what we do know is that this mine will remain closed at least until Monday, and if unions have their way, they will not have any worker return to any shaft before it is deemed 100% safe. Voya.
Reporter Nicholas Bauer coming through to us live from the Free State, where the Minister of Mineral Resources, Mosebenzi Zwane, was addressing the media, saying there's still an investigation. He is still trying to get the facts, saying it's a fact that there was a storm, but what the Minister didn't say, of course, was that it's a fact also that the generators of the mine did not kick in when that electricity or power got off. But of course there is an investigation, and it would seem that Beatrix Mine itself, the management that is, are happy. They say that it was quite a constructive engagement. Let's wait for due process.